Hello and welcome again to Paulist InFormation here from St. Paul's College in Washington, D.C. My name is Michael Hennessy, a Paulist seminarian here at St. Paul's College, and we are joined today by Father Don Andry from Knoxville, Tennessee, who currently is the director of St. John the 23rd campus ministry at the University of Tennessee. Father Don, welcome.
Well, thank you. Good to be here.
Good. So again, thank you for joining us on Paulist InFormation. If you could tell us a little bit about your ministry, your role, what you do down in Knoxville, that'd be great.
Okay. Well, I'm the new pastor of St. John the 23rd University Parish. It's been around since somewhere in the late 60s was when they built that as a Catholic center at the University of Tennessee. And the Paulists took it over in '74, and they've had a lot of different Paulists over the years, and apparently really liked them. So I'm coming in after that because I just started 3 months ago.
Wonderful.
My first chance to be a pastor.
Good. Oh, wonderful. So you work with the college students mostly down at the parish there.
About half and half. There is definitely a focus on college students, and we really do work with them, but we also are a parish, so we actually have a resident community too. And so you work with them too, and of course they're paying the bills, so you have to keep that in mind and work with them a lot, but also get them on board. And they really are on board that we are a student place too, and really trying to help the students bring their faith alive. And so and having the parishioners on board that gives you a wonderful, stable community for the students too. Something to connect into that you're not recreating every fall, which actually makes campus ministry a lot easier.
Oh, wonderful. The Paulists were founded in 1858 by Father Isaac Hecker, and we've lived throughout the community's history, throughout the society's history, a certain Paulist charism. How do you live that charism out with the college students, with the resident community at John the 23rd?
That's an interesting question. There, I think, are lots of pieces. Tennessee is one of our places that we're in has probably the lowest percentage of Catholics of anywhere we exist. Statewide, it's like 3% in Tennessee. It might be as high as 5% around Knoxville. So you're dealing with a very large non-Catholic community, heavy Southern Baptist, and many of them have a lot of old stereotypes of Catholics that are not very complimentary, and mostly not true, And so half of that is dealing with the other religious people, the pastors and such of the different churches, and getting to know them. And most of them, over the years have come to understand a lot more about Catholic Christianity, so there isn't as much of an issue there. With the students, it's helping some of them see and be strong enough in their own faith so that they can be talking with others. So that we can be this Catholic presence on campus that can help a lot of others understand Catholic Christianity, and for some of them then to be considering whether they want to be Catholic. So especially the ecumenical and the ecumenical dimension is very strong, and evangelization, the witnessing, are very strong there.
Oh, beautiful. So you yourself have been a missionary. You've traveled across the United States, different Paulist assignments and foundations now in Tennessee. Share with us a little bit about your background, how you came to the Paulist community, how you discerned to us, and what's made your life so fulfilling to this point as a Paulist priest.
Okay. Well, I graduated as a computer software engineer. I have a master's in computer software engineering. Worked for a company that almost doesn't exist anymore, but it was AT&T Bell Labs.
Sure.
Bell Labs was the research and development division of AT&T. And I was part of their laboratory out in North Denver. And so when I settled out there after school, lived in Boulder and went to this local church at St. Thomas Aquinas, staffed by the Paulist Fathers back then, and got to know them somewhat. And so it wasn't until I was 29 that I started thinking priesthood that popped into my mind, and I sort of told God, "You're nuts," but and I talked to some friends of mine saying, "Tell me I'm nuts," but they all said they thought it was a really good idea, and so I started thinking about it and talking about it more. What connected me to the Paulists by far were a couple things. One is the feeling of the place and the Paulists in general was, you're welcome here. And not, you should be better and why aren't you shaping up? It is, no, you're welcome here. And, the background is, can we help you be even better? But I thought that was such a positive view of God, is, that first you're welcome. Yeah, God's going to want us to be better because God can help bring out what's wonderful in us, and then the Paulists can help with that too, not by condemnation, but more like by encouragement. And so that was the number one thing, was that sense of welcoming. The other is, I thought Paulists were extraordinarily good at explaining tough theological concepts so that average people could understand them. And I'm an engineer, so that's why I want to see enough so that we can understand. And so I think that's were the things that were attracting me to the Paulists. Once I joined, really have never looked back. You always have doubts now and then.
Sure.
Nothing serious, because of the support of the community, but also to be part of that same mission. I've been involved mostly in campus ministry in my years as a Paulist, and trying to help other students experience what I did, because I really chose to be Catholic when I was in college. Before that, I went because, my mom said so. It's like, you didn't want to mess with my mom. She's full-blooded German, so it was a lot easier to go. But once I was in college and she's not nearby, no, I'm doing this for me. And so that got me started. And then being in a Paulist parish, which was always, hey, great, we're glad you're here. And then this undertone was like, well, this needs doing. Not you should do it, but just this needs doing. And you start getting involved because you start thinking, okay, it does need doing and I could do it. And so I got more and more involved, and all of a sudden decided I could get even a lot more involved and choose priesthood.
Oh, that's wonderful. So in the corporate world today, they often talk about an elevator pitch. So you're in the elevator with someone for 20 seconds, 30 seconds. What would you say to someone who's discerning a call to the religious life, priesthood, or maybe just any vocation in life? What would be your 20-second pitch to someone discerning a vocation in the church?
Wow, that's going to be interesting. I'd probably want to take some time to tweak this really good. But the short of it is, following God's call is always wonderful, wherever it leads you. So look for that call. If it brings you to priesthood, great. If it brings you somewhere else, great. But no matter what you do, you can be a wonderful disciple of Christ. It's just that priesthood is a wonderful way to do that. But so is marriage, so is single life, so there's so many things that we can be this wonderful disciple of Christ no matter where we are.
Well, Father Don, you sold me. So thank you.
I'm glad you're here.
Thank you. Well, thank you. That's very kind. I do appreciate that. Father Don Andrew, thank you for joining us, pastor and director at St. John the 23rd University Parish in Knoxville, Tennessee. Thank you for joining us again on Paulist InFormation. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and we hope to see you again soon. Father Don, thank you again.
You're welcome.
All right, goodbye and God bless.